Hi, in this video we're going to be looking at exchange rates, which is where you've got euros versus dollars or pounds versus South African rand or something like that. They are written word problems and aimed at roughly about GCSE grade 5, something like that. Please do stop the video, have a go at each of the questions, compare your solutions. If you need any help, always add a comment below. I'll come back to you and I look forward to seeing you inside the video. Hi, in this particular video we're looking at exchange rates. These are very popular kind of grade 4, grade 5 type questions, usually on a calculator paper. Please do stop the video, have a go at each of the questions, compare your solutions. Okay, so I'm going to work fairly steadily through this. There's actually about 8 questions on this particular paper, and you can download it from the 3-Minute Maths website if you want to. Okay, so George goes on holiday to Italy. The exchange rate is that, and he changes £400 into euros. So all I'm going to do is with each of these I'm going to approach them in exactly the same way. Part A is where we say there's £1 to euros and the exchange rate is 1.15. Okay, so if he's got £400, then it's going to be basically multiply by 400, and if I do that to 1.15 I'm going to get 460. So part A, he's going to have 460 euros. Okay, so he goes away on holiday, and when he comes back he changes it back 169 euros back into pounds. So it's how many pounds does he get when he's got 118 euros per pound. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to do pounds to euros. Okay, in this particular case it's 1 to 118 on the return journey. Now in this particular case he's got 169 euros. So basically we need to divide to find out how many lots of 118 euros there are in 169, because if we find out how many of those there are in that, then each one of those will buy us £1, and when you divide it through we find it becomes £143.22, which is actually the amount of pounds we can buy with our 169 euros. So it's going to be 143.22. So all we do is we divide 169 by 118, and that will give us the amount of pounds that we can afford to buy. Okay, let's move on to number 2. So Carys, who happens to be my daughter, goes on holiday to America. The exchange rate is that. She changes 450 into dollars. So it's a very, very similar question. So in this particular case, I'm going to do A and I'm going to do pounds to dollars. Okay, and this rate is going to be 1 to 138. Okay, she's got 450 pounds. So I've multiplied it by 450. So I'm going to do exactly the same with the dollars, and I'm going to get 621. So she's going to go away with $621 for part A. Okay, part B, she's got $130 left in her account. Very, very unlikely, but she's got $130 left in her account, and she's going to change it back into pounds. And the exchange rate again is different. It's going to be 1 to 145. Okay, so she's got 130. How many times have I divided 130 by 145? In other words, how many pounds can I actually buy? Well, I can buy 89.66 pounds, and that would be the answer to part B of this particular question. Okay, hopefully that's all right for you. So this whole method, this way of doing things, is kind of what I use now for all of these exchange, and you'll see that as we move on, although there are slightly different questions, they are very similar. So please do stop the video, have a go at question number 3, which is Josh, who is going on holiday, and when he's on holiday he buys himself a cuddly koala toy as a souvenir, and he spends $39 on it in Australia. Okay, so again, I'm going to put this exchange rate, which is pounds, to, in this particular case now, Australian dollars. Okay, so that's 1 to 184. Okay, it spends 39. So how many lots of $184 are there? Well, there's actually 21.20. So in other words, the koala bear, the cuddly koala bear, is costing £21.20 in Australia. Okay, or the equivalent to. Hopefully that's all right. So Liber then went out and bought a new hoodie while on holiday in Turkey, and she paid 249 Turkish lira. So the same hoodie in the UK is 24.99. The exchange rate is that. Is the hoodie cheaper in Turkey or in the UK? So it's pretty similar sort of question, just adds a little bit extra to it. It might be an extra mark on this, providing you show you're working, and you're going to go £1. Now, I don't know what the symbol is for Turkish lira, so I'm just going to put TL, and that's going to be 1 to 12.01. Okay, so it costed 249 Turkish lira. How many times do I divide that? Well, 249 divided by 12.01 is going to be 20.73. So I can buy £20 and 73 pence worth of hoodie. Okay, so Turkey is cheaper. Okay, and it's cheaper than the UK at £20.73. Okay, if I buy it in Turkey. Okay, hopefully that's all right. Let's move on to the next one, which is all about a new watch. In this particular case, it sounds like you're a multi-millionaire, because this particular watch is going to cost you 21,000 yen in Japan, which is pretty good. I'd love to have that amount of money in my pocket. That sounds great. But the chances are it's not actually worth English pounds. It's not exactly the same. So let's have a look and see where we are. Well, we've got an exchange rate which is pounds to yen. Okay, and that's going to be 1 to 153.48. Okay, and again, in this particular case, £21,000 for this watch, or 21,000 yen. How many times have I divided it? Well, it comes out, I get 136.83 British pounds. So therefore, it is cheaper in Japan. Okay. So in Japan, it's going to cost me the equivalent of £136.83, but in the UK, it would cost me £169.99. Okay, let's have a look then at the next question. So hopefully you've got the idea of how we can approach these sorts of questions now, and we're going to do the same with this one. This one is probably a 3-marker. Possibly 4 on some papers, but I would certainly say 3 marks. Okay, so the exchange rate in London is that to South African rand. The exchange rate in Cape Town, which is the capital of South Africa, is that. Lauren wants to change, and every time you see this where it says some pounds, just make it up. And in this particular case, what I'm going to do, because the numbers are a bit bigger, I'm going to choose £1,000. So in London, let's have a look at her exchange rate. Well, it's going to be pounds to South African rand. Okay, and the exchange rate is 1 to 19.71. But actually, she's got £1,000. In other words, it's 1,000 times bigger than 19.71, which is 19,710 rand. So if you went to London and she bought £1,000 worth of South African rand, she's going to get 19,710. So if she's in Cape Town, what's the situation there? Well, in Cape Town, the exchange rate is going to be rand to pounds. And in this particular case, 1 rand is going to cost her 5p. Okay, so, all right. So she wants to now change £1,000. So in other words, we're saying that we've got £1,000, and it's how many lots of 5p are there in £1,000 in order for her to buy 1 rand with each of her 5p's. And there's actually 20,000 of them. Okay, so marginally, she's going to get 290 rand extra if she goes and buys them in Cape Town. So Lauren would get more South African rand in Cape Town. Okay, so if it says some pounds, just make it up. You could have done the same with 100. I just kind of instinctively felt that 1,000 would be slightly better. Okay, with this particular type of question. All right, let's move on to number 7. And number 7 is more difficult. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of the questions now. We've got 7 and 8 to work through, but certainly 7 and 8 just take a little bit of thinking about, but not a massive amount. So in Sweden, a new canal boat costs 750,000 Swedish krona. In Denmark, the same canal boat costs 598,000 Danish krona. Okay, I'm not sure I've pronounced this particularly well. It looks to me like it would be krone and krona, but I don't know, to be honest. However, what I do know is the exchange rates. So let's have a look at what happens in Sweden. Well, in Sweden, what I need to look at is the exchange rate, which is £1 to krona. I'm going to put that down as KR, okay, and that's 1 to 11.85. So if I've got 750,000 krona to spend on a canal boat, how many times have I divided it, or how many lots of £11.85 krona are there in there? Well, it turns out that, believe it or not, there's 63,291 and 14p worth of krona. Okay, so let's have a look now at Denmark. So in Denmark, I've got the same canal boat, but in this particular case, I've got a different exchange rate, which is pounds. It is going to be krone again, but so I'm, apologies for the actual KR and KR, but hopefully you'll see the two are separate, because in this particular case, I've got an exchange rate of 1 to 8.6. Okay, in this particular Denmark, the same boat costs 598,000 Danish krone. How many lots of 868 are there? Well, it turns out that there are 68,894, almost exactly. Okay, so in other words, it's going to be more expensive in Denmark to buy the canal boat than it is in Sweden. But the question has actually asked me to work out the difference between the two. So I need to subtract that from that. Now, it is a calculator paper, so I'm just going to write this out, that the difference, okay, for the same canal boat is going to be 68894, take away 63291.14, and that's going to give me a total amount of 5602.86, and that would be the answer to that particular question. Okay, so just takes a little bit more thinking about, but essentially it's the same sort of idea. All right, let's have a look at Ahmed's trip, and he's going to go from France to Egypt. Okay, so he's no longer traveling from the UK, he wants to go from France to Egypt, and he wants to book a flight that costs 465 euros and a hotel that costs 750 Egyptian pounds per night for 7 nights. So let's have a look at that first. So if it's 750 Egyptian pounds per night for 7 nights, it means that the total is going to be, and I'll just put EG 5250. Okay, so just to remind myself that actually he's got quite a big hotel spend. But let's look initially at the flight. Okay, so the flight itself is fairly straightforward, because like we've done before, we're changing pounds to euros, or rather euros back to pounds. So the exchange rate is 1 to 116. We've got 465 euros. Each one is 116 to buy £1. So his actual flight in UK pounds is going to be £400 and 86 pence. So no different there to what we've done in the other ones. Okay, let's have a look at his hotel bill. Now, in this particular case, unfortunately, we've only got the exchange rate of euros to Egyptian pounds, but nevertheless, we're going to do exactly the same. It's euros to Egyptian pounds. Okay, in this case, it's 1 to 18.53. Okay, now his hotel is going to be 5,250 Egyptian pounds. So if I put that into there, how many of those can he how many lots of 1853s are there? Well, it turns out that there are 283.32 euros. Okay, be very careful about this. It's only euros at this particular point. In order to make that into pounds, because Ahmet has a budget of 600, we need to convert this back into pound notes. So I'm going to use exactly the same conversion. I've got pounds to euros, and just for the examiner I would put in the rate that I've used. Okay, and I said, well, actually I've got 283.32 of them. How many lots of them? Well, it turns out that the British pound, there's £244.24. So those are the two costs he's got. Fortunately, his hotel bill is 250 quid for 7 nights, which probably isn't too bad. I don't know. I don't stay in a hotel very often. It's been a little while, but hopefully that's okay for you. So the question then goes on and says, Ahmed has a budget of £600. Has he got enough money in the budget? Well, hopefully you can see that he hasn't, because if he add those two together, it's going to be over £600. So let's just do that. His total is going to be his flights, or his flight rather, which is £400 and 86p, and his hotel is going to be in UK pounds £244.24, and if I add those up I get £645.10. Okay, so unfortunately Ahmed needs an additional £45 and 10p. Okay, and that would be the answer to that particular question. Okay, that's the end of exchange rates. I hope you found this particular worksheet useful. Please do let me know in the comments if you'd like any support with it. I'll always come back to you, and I look forward to seeing you inside the next video.